him about how he did that and what he went through. Well, not only is Carnegie Mellon Professor David Touretzky here tonight.
Oh, you're shitting me! You're shitting me!
He flew into Howdy Pond in his own plane.
Whoa!
Now that's style, folks. Dave, would you tell us a little bit about your history and your website and all the things you've done? Dave Touretzky.
Well, thanks, Tony. I've been a fan of yours since the very first New Times article. I remember when that came out, wondering if you knew what you were in for. I guess you do. So yeah, back in 1995, when the internet was still very new, the World Wide Web was a new thing, and I was interested in free speech issues because I just had a massive fight with my university over the issue of pornography. They didn't want pornography to be accessible on the university servers, and I did. And I was willing to take some pretty serious risks, and so I basically convinced the provost that I was a lunatic. He called me a free speech extremist to my face. And I took it as a compliment. He didn't intend it that way. But I took it as a compliment. And I was really interested in these free speech issues, and I was very serious about it. And I heard that some group called Scientology had been interfering with critical speech about them on a different part of the internet, not the part where the pornography was that I was trying to defend. So I went over to take a look. And just by dumb luck, just as I got there, Arnie Lerma posted the Fishman Declaration, which was a 65-page affidavit. And I looked at this thing, and it looked like incomprehensible crap. But I thought, well, if they don't want it on the web, I need to put it there. And I wondered, they could cancel these posts that aren't religion Scientology. They were using a software flaw in the design of Usenet to be able to cancel other people's postings. I said, well, you know, if someone put it on a real web page, I wonder what they would do. Well, I'm a scientist. I'll do the experiment. So I downloaded Arnie's webpage, and I was really new to this. This is like one of the first web pages I ever made. And so I took particular care in dividing up the document into sections. I had section headings. I was learning HTML. It was so much fun. And I made this little web page on the Fishman Declaration, and I posted it to All of Religion Scientology and said the Fishman Declaration is available at Carnegie Mellon. Here's the URL. And I went home and went to sleep, and all hell broke loose. So Carnegie Mellon Scientology phoned and faxed and FedExed the university and the university's attorney, saying that if this doesn't come down, we're going to sue both Carnegie Mellon and Touretzky personally. And so I had this meeting with the university's attorney, and I have to remember, I just come off this bruising fight with the administration. And so they really didn't want to piss me off, because they saw what happened the last time, and they didn't want it to forget. And so they were very delicate with me. The university's attorney said, well, you know, they said they're going to sue you. What would you like to do? And I said, well, this is a court document, right? We can't, it's really available to the public. You can get it from the court. Can I publish this? And the attorney said, well, the court can give it away. But it's not clear that you can. So they might actually be correct about this copyright issue. So I said, okay. So if they might actually be correct and you're not sure and you're a lawyer, right, then maybe I need to take this down until you figure out what the real answer is. But I was really curious about why they cared about this 65 pages of drivel. What I didn't understand back then was that in the Fishman Declaration was the story of our friend Xenu, the evil galactic overlord. And here I was giving it away for free, right? The biggest spiritual secret in all of Scientology was giving it away for free on the Carnegie Mellon web server. Well, no wonder they were pissed. So I decided at that point that one of my missions in life would be to make Xenu a household word, that I can't violate the copyright, so I would take the files down. But as the university's attorney explained to me, there is such a thing called fair use. And so you can talk all about Xenu, and you can quote from the documents about Xenu. You can't just publish it wholesale. So I decided I was going to be Xenu's PR man. And that's exactly what I did, right? So you've seen pictures of Xenu protesting in front of Scientology churches. That was me. It was me and a woman in Michigan who put together the Xenu costume. And I wasn't always in the costume. Sometimes I was next to the person in the costume, or I left the costume for other people. But that Xenu costume was part of it, and then the OT3 scholarship page was part of it, and so on. And so in the early days, in the early 1995, 6, 7, it was really fun because almost anything I did would generate a letter from a Scientology lawyer. And I used to joke that if you call up CNU's legal department, it would say something like, "This is the Carnegie Mellon legal department. Press 1 if you're suing us. Press 2 if we're suing you. Press 3 to complain about Dave Touretzky." But those days are long gone. And now, I can't piss them off. Nothing I can do. I mean, they're in so bad shape that nothing I can do matters. So I want you to know, I haven't given up, right? I always have hope. I'm hoping that someday I can think of something else to do to really piss them off. But until that time, I'm just quietly working with journalists, with attorneys, families of Narconon victims, doing sort of the decent work until I think of some other way to really outrage them. And until then, I'm delighted to meet all of you and maybe get some ideas.
Well, Dave is definitely still doing important work. In fact, in 2011, so right after I had started covering Scientology as a daily beat, he started sending me emails saying that, look, there's this one thing I really think you ought to look into more. And he was talking about the Desmond death at the Atlanta Narconon. And I told Dave, he said, I know you've got, he already had these fantastic pages about Narconon. And I thought, you already have that whole Narconon thing covered. I'm focusing on Scientology. I know Narconon. Frankly, I just didn't know that much about Narconon at that point. But he kept bugging me. And I finally decided, all right, I'm not looking into this Desmond thing. Well, I sure am glad I did, because Narconon has become a big part of the Bunker's coverage since then, specifically because of that Desmond case, death of Patrick Desmond. That we all owe a debt to an attorney named Dan Harris, who was working for the Desmond family, who would not give up. What Scientology does in litigation is just throw up roadblocks, delay. And he spent 3 years pushing until he finally got these incredible documents that show how deceptive Narconon is. They were lying to judges about the very nature of what they did. And he turned over all of those documents to me. And you've seen what attorneys like Ryan Hamilton and Jeff Ray and David Miller and Jonathan Little, there's a whole cottage industry now of suing Narconon, and everybody relies on the documents of Dan Harris, which became public because this guy kept bugging me about that case. So I wanted to tell Dave Touretzky how much I owe him. So listen, this was a lot of fun, and the last thing I wanted to mention in the program is I don't care where you want to have HowdyCon next year. is going to be in Denver. HowdyCon 2017, Denver, Colorado. So let's just drink some more, eat some more, and have a good time. Thank you so much for coming out.
He hates that. He hates that hip stuff. Huh? Did you want to say something?
No, I just want to say hi. That's it.
All right.
I'm a little drunk.
Say hip hip hooray.
Hip hip hooray.
Tony hates that. He said, "Don't do that shit anymore."
Oh, I
So
shouldn't say
gotta
that.
do that.
I will.
What you got rolled up there, man? You found a dealer here? Castro's saying goodbye to the bunker. Bye. He's got an early flight. Well, what do you think? That was pretty fucking awesome, wasn't it?
Still broadcasting? Well, we're working on it.
What do you think? How do I look? Pretty fucking awesome, man. How do you like the hat? Donald Fagen said, never buy a hat by mail. Did you say hi? Say hi again. He's saying, get the people to say hi. Okay, hi.
This is Hello.
All right, show your name too.
Hello, my name.
You don't have to show your tits.
Buster Boob. Hi.
The revolution will not be televised. It will be live streamed.